Hello, everybody. It's JJ. It's Tuesday on the Breakfast Club. So, this video, um, I kind of want to. It's not like really a response to Noel Plum's video, but it kind of is. But I mostly just wanted to address a phrase that he used, which was linguistic skill. So, essentially, in Noel Plum's video, which is basically a response to Jacob Truman's video about whether or not it's okay to dislike reading, Noel Plum talks about this big book that he has tried to read, a book about the history of evolutionary theory, something like that. I don't know. But Noel was essentially saying that um, no one can read the book. It's not like a book that a layperson can read and understand. And that he felt as though the author intentionally did this to just show how much of a, word connoisseur he is, and like how fucking awesome he is at using big words that are different. So what I wanted to address was this idea of linguistic skill, because Noel was like, oh, he just wants to show off his linguistic skill. And later, Noel goes on to discuss, the different types of success, like whether or not the book was successful, and like it depends on the author's goal for the book. So like if his goal was to have like this big fancy worded book, then yes, he was successful. But if his goal was to, express his ideas to the general population, then he was unsuccessful, because no one can fucking read that shit. So I guess the term skill can kind of fall in the same category. I guess it like depends on what you consider skillful. I personally don't think that using big words or using complex words that most people don't know is a linguistic skill. I have been told like multiple times, or this has been like ingrained in my head, so maybe I'm wrong, but I've been taught so consistently by professors, by other, teachers, etc., that the true, like, successful and skillful linguist is the person who can go into any geographical or socioeconomic setting, and because of the way they can speak in that setting, no one would know that they didn't belong there. Like the ultimate language chameleon. You can alter how you speak to fit in wherever you go. Or if you're trying to address a certain audience, you can manipulate your vernacular to fit and relate to who you're trying to address. I think that is linguistic skill. I think the ability to, connect with practically anybody through mimicking their speech patterns, mimicking their vocabulary, or to be able to convey to whoever you want to send a message to successfully is linguistic skill. I don't think using big words means shit. Now, the author of this book just might not have linguistic skill. Maybe these big words are the only words he knows how to use to talk about what he's talking about. And I think, there's this whole like STEM field versus liberal arts like battle, but I think it's important for groups like this to work together, so someone with these big ideas, these complex, thoughts about, things that the general population isn't aware of, like, okay, science, chemistry, biology, whatever. I think it's important that they can work with someone who is good at making information accessible to the public and, combining their fucking powers and not trying to fight each other, argue over who's better, etc. I just think that linguistic skill overall is not using big words, but rather using words that people will understand, or speaking in a way that people will understand. Because you can have the most intense, amazing ideas in your brain, but if you can't express that to the world around you, then it's going to be lost. And I think that's an important skill to have, to be able to communicate. We have a new host on the Breakfast Club, actually. D. Landon Cole, you are up next.